Great to see you. Indonesian market has get back early Christmas gift from the Fed after the Fed decide to hold interest rates. How will the U.S. market respond? Wall Street and then Dow Jones index are reportedly having a big because of it. Thomas.
Yeah, well, Maria, Chairman Powell achieved something that no one thought he would be able to do. We call it the immaculate disinflation. He was able to bring down inflation without destroying the jobs market. And now that he's done his dovish pivot towards cuts, the market has really taken off with the Dow Jones hitting all-time highs at 37,000. I think moving forward, we'll continue to see gains through year-end. Santa Claus will come to town, a Santa Claus rally. But the opportunity now is looking at those stocks that have been left behind, because a lot of our gains in the U.S. in the first 7 or 8 months have been driven by tech, large cap tech. But the S&P, the large cap index, is trading close to 19 times next year's earnings. We want to focus on the mid cap index, which is trading at only 13.9 times forward earnings, or even the small cap index trading at 13.2 times next year's earnings. That's where the bargains are going to be as this rally broadens out to more and more stocks participating moving forward.
Okay, Thomas, the Fed also hint at cutting interest rates 3 times next year. And when do you think that the Fed will start lowering interest rates? Many predict April or May. What about your predictions?
Yeah, looking at the dot plot, it looks like it could start as early as March. It was unexpected that the Fed would acknowledge that they're going to cut 3 times next year. The Fed funds future have now started to price in double that. So the Fed funds futures moved from four cuts expected next year to 6 cuts. So I think we could start to see a 25 basis point as quickly as March. If not March, then May for sure. And it could be back to back. So they have definitely pivoted, and it was a unanimous decision. So expect easing in the first half of 2024.
So what are the United States economic conditions right now that will make the Fed start lowering interest rate?
Yeah, well, I think the next key data point is going to come next week with the Fed's favored inflation, core PCE. And the expectations is that the core PCE will be at 2.3%. That would be down from 3.7%. I think that, once you start to see 2.3%, you're getting really close to the target. That's what the Fed wants to see, and that should give them the green light to start to cut at least 1 cut in the first half of next year.
So for the first interest rate cut, how big do you predict it? How big do you predict the drop will be?
Yeah, I think they're going to stick with the 25 basis point cuts, do a cut, see how the market responds, see how the economy responds, see how inflation expectations respond. And if they're successful with that, that will be the path that they follow. Not only are they expecting down to 4.6% by the end of 2024, but they actually guided to 3.6% by the end of 2025. So they are anticipating more cuts than maybe just 2 weeks ago that they were anticipating.
Okay, well, even though it has signals reductions in interest rates, the Fed also warned that efforts to reduce inflation to the 2% target will change, and we're still uncertain. Does that mean that next year the interest rate will definitely decrease, or will it remain at the 2% inflation standard? If it's not already 2%, won't the interest rate go down?
Yeah, I think at this point they acknowledge they have a dual mandate. Number 1 is maximum employment, and number 2 is price stability. So long as inflation stays in line, I think they will cut, because they don't want to see unemployment spike higher. And there is a lagged effect of all the tightening that they've done in the last year and a half. So I think they want the landing to be soft or no landing at all, and that's going to require at least a couple of cuts to smooth things out after such aggressive tightening, provided that their favored gauge, like core PCE, continues to stay subdued and inflation expectations continues to stay subdued. If those two things remain in place, they'll continue forward with the path of cuts.
Well, moving on to in the midst of global uncertainty, what are the main challenges and issues that the Fed will pay attention to in deciding its policies?
Yeah, I think first and foremost is going to be the inflation numbers. That's number one to them, core PCE. They'll pay attention to job openings, which have been falling, which they like to see. And they're going to look at average hourly earnings. Those are kind of the three key things that they're going to keep on their radar. Obviously, they've got to keep an eye on energy. They've got to keep an eye on geopolitical issues that could impact energy. But leaving that aside, I think all the numbers that are of their purview are moving in the right direction and gives them the green light to move ahead with some level of normalization and easing in the first and second half of next year.
Okay. After the Fed has a plan to cut rates until 3 times next year, so what are your predictions for United States economic growth in 2024? It will grow aggressively enough for next year's, or just conservative?
Yeah, we have a perfect combination. Earnings are expected to grow 12% next year, which no one was anticipating just a few months ago. So estimates have continued to hold in high and actually start to move up. That's number one. And number two, margins are actually increasing. Margins are expected to go up 70 basis points in 2024. And that's because you had all these CEOs preparing for a recession that never came in 2023. And now they've got the cost cuts in place. They're running efficiently, and the economy is turning up. So all of this points to a very, very positive 2024, both economically and also constructively for U.S. indices. And just to look at, we saw a weakening of the dollar, which is going to, it's the weakest since August. That's going to help multinationals with their earnings as well on the foreign exchange. So a lot of things are pointing in the right direction for 2024.
Well, thank you, Thomas J. Hayes, Chairman and Managing Member, Great Hill Capital. Thank you for your time to discuss with us, and thank you for your insight to us. Have a good day.